Hi, folks. It is Tuesday the 7th. My wife and a few other folks online asked me to do something that was more Broadway style. And I wanted to keep it to stuff that I could reasonably play something resembling the original accompaniment. Because I just, some things I just cannot get around the keyboard in the way that I'd like. And a lot of my music, the scores I have, are locked away in a cabinet at the sales. And as you can imagine, they're not letting us travel very much right now for non-essential. And no offense to those scores, they are non-essential. So I picked out some that are favorites of mine, and some of them you're definitely going to know, some of them you may not. And I'll be singing them relatively straight, so don't expect me to be jazzing them up or scatting. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pretty much play it close to the vest. So this first one is by Rodgers and Hart. It's from a show called On Your Toes. When I first hit Philly, there was a guy that would do this on gigs, a male singer. I think he's the only person in Philly I've ever heard do this song besides me, and I don't do it that often. So anyway, here it is. Quiet nights and all around the calm and balmy weather, quiet nights, no other sound but hearts that beat together. You can almost hear the things I'm thinking. You can almost see my heart take flight. Whisper low, but don't say no. It's such a quiet night. That's the gorgeous Rodgers and Hart tune. Here's one from a show called Camelot. My wife really likes this song. She sings it very well too. After she heard me do it, she gave it a crack and she sounded pretty darn good on it. So. If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer. Seeing you in summer, I never would go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with luster that puts gold to shame. But if I'd ever leave you, it couldn't be in autumn. How I'd leave in autumn, I never would know. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there. And could I leave you running merrily through the snow, or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow? it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so? Oh no, not in springtime, summer, winter, or fall. No, never could I leave you. Fun tune. It's an interesting thing. As I grab my drink, it's an interesting thing. Most people, when they cast that show, they cast a big, barrel-chested guy who looks like he could beat up the world, which is not unreasonable, given that he's supposed to be able to beat up the world. But if you read the book, which I did, The Once and Future King by T.H. White, it says that he was not that big, that he, that he was not imposing physically, that he got his strength from his faith in God, which is very interesting. It makes you have a very different image of the character. It also says something that at the time was very true of me, not so much anymore because you can see lines in my face, but they say that in the book, the author painted a picture that his face was unlined because he had never smiled, which is sad. But he was so devout and took everything so seriously. So let me take a drink. This next song is really two songs. Same show. They're both from one of my favorite Sondheim scores, Merrily Roll Along, but the show doesn't work. It's never worked, no matter what they do. Because whether it flopped. It's one of the biggest flops of all time. But the reason it didn't work isn't because the show ran chronologically backwards. The reason it didn't work is because whether you run it backwards or forwards, the protagonist at a certain point becomes unlikable. If you start it from the end of the story, he's just a jerk. And then as time goes on, you realize he started out as a nice guy, which makes you dislike him even more because you realize this nice guy turned into a jerk. So they've tried versions of it where they go forwards. And that doesn't work either because you start out liking him and then at the end he turns into a jerk. So unfortunate, and it's not the kind of protagonist like an anti-hero, like you're rooting for Sweeney Todd to kill the judge. He's a villain, but you're rooting for him because he's doing something that, perverse as it may be, has an end that is just. But that being said, it's one of my favorite scores. And I did this medley for my senior recital in college, which seems years ago, but there it is. It started out like a song. We started quiet and slow with no surprise. And then one morning I woke to realize we had a good thing going. It's not that nothing went wrong. Some angry moments, of course, but just a few. And only moments, no more, because we knew we had this good thing going. And if I wanted too much, was that such a mistake at the time? You never wanted enough. Alright, tough, I don't make that a cry. And while it's going along, you take for granted some love will wear away. We took for granted a lot, and still I say it could have kept on growing instead of just kept on. We had a good thing going on. Not a day goes by, not a single day, you're not somewhere a part of my life. And it looks like you'll stay as the days go by. I keep thinking, when does it end? Where's the day I'll have started forgetting? But I just go on thinking and sweating, and cursing and crying, and turning and reaching and waking and dying. And no, not a day goes by, not a blessed day, but you're still somehow a part of my life. And you won't go away, so there's hell to pay. And until I die, I'll die day after day after day after day after day after day after day, till the days go by, till the days go by, till the days go by, till the days go by. Sorry for that cracklage. The bad thing about allergies is when I really open up fully, it brings the allergens up. So I hope you'll forgive a little bit of the allergies. Not corona allergies, although I'd like to stay away from those kinds of allergies, if you know what I mean, but just allergies. And 'tis the season to be sniffly. Sounds like a good Christmas song. 'Tis the season to be sniffly, la 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 la. Something like that. Although I think that melody's taken, so. This is from a British show that was written in the 30s but didn't make its Broadway debut until the 80s. And it won I believe it won 3 Tonys. It had the misfortune of coming out the same year as Les Mis, and Les Mis won more. Although this ran for a decent length of time. It was a good show. It's a very entertaining show. It's funny. It's light and frothy, if you will. Leaning on a lamp, maybe you think I look a tramp, or you may think I'm hanging around to steal a car. But no, I'm not a crook, and if you think that's what I look, I'll tell you why I'm here and what my motives are. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by. Oh me, oh my she doesn't always get away, but anyway, I know that she'll try. Oh me, oh my hope the little lady comes by. There's no other girl I could wait for, but this one I'll break any date for. I won't have to ask what she's late for. She'd never leave me, but she's not a girl like that. She's absolutely wonderful and marvelous and beautiful, and anyone can understand why. I'm leaning on a lamppost at the corner of the street in case a certain little lady comes by. Just a fun tune. Just a fun tune. I forgot to say what show it's from. It's from Me and My Girl. The composer was Noel Gay. It starred Robert Lindsay in the lead role on Broadway. I know I'm leaving out other people that were in that show, but his performance was exceptional. And I remember the Tony Awards where he and the cast doing the Lambeth Walk, both the step and the number, went out into the audience and just made quite a show-stopping number of it. So it's a great show. If you ever get a chance to go see it, please do. You will enjoy it. It's typically British, very, very hip, very understated, and it's just a very well-written show. And now for something not light and frothy. This is from one of my favorite Sondheim shows. I'm the first schoolboy to have ever played this role. And I do this every now and then on jazz gigs, but like I said, I'm going to keep it pretty straight. Pretty women, fascinating, sipping coffee, dancing. Pretty women are a wonder. Pretty women sitting in the window, standing on the stairs. Something in them cheers the air. Pretty women silhouetted, stay within you, glancing, stay forever, breathing lightly. Pretty women, blowing out their candles or combing out their hair. Even when they leave, they still are there. They're there. Pretty women at the mirrors in their gardens, ladder writing, flower picking, weather watching how they make a man sing proof of heaven as you're living. Pretty women, pretty women, pretty women, pretty women. And just at that moment, he's getting ready to slash the judge's throat. It's quite a lovely juxtaposition of both of them. Just a wonderful, wonderful story. I'd like to think that there was a real Sweeney Todd, but I'd probably be horrified that there probably was something like that. So as those of you that know my family background are aware, I come from a family with classical musicians on my father's side, and jazz, commercial, and liturgical on my mother's side. And so this show is a show that I got hipped to by both of them, my father and my mother. And I do this tune on jazz gigs. I swing it, but I'm going to keep it straight for this. The show has themes that they adapted for songs in it by Borodin, the Russian composer. It's a wonderful show. It's not done much anymore, which is a shame because it's just a lovely score and it's a good story. It's called Kismet. Take my hand, I'm a stranger in paradise, all lost in a wonderland, a stranger in paradise. If I stand starry-eyed, that's a danger in paradise, for mortals who stand beside an angel like you. I saw your face, and I ascended out of the commonplace into the rare. Somewhere in space I hang suspended until I know that there's a chance that you care. Won't you answer the fervent prayer of a stranger in paradise? Don't send me in dark despair from all that I hunger for, but open your angel arms to the stranger in paradise and tell him that he need be a stranger no more. No. Beautiful song. This is from a small show. When I say small show, I mean small cast. It can be done with as few as really just 2 people. It's ordinarily done with 8, the 2 major characters, and then their quote-unquote alter ego choruses, 3 each. It was written by Martha Hamish and Carol Bayer Sager, who were a couple at the time, and it's loosely based on their relationship. It had a book by Neil Simon, which that's always a good place to start, and the songs are just really good Broadway poppy tunes, and this is the first one in the show, and I used to like to sing it when I was younger, and maybe I should start singing it again. I really like the song. It's just really well written. So let me take a drink and I'll give it a go. The show I'm talking about is they're playing our song. It starred Robert Klein, the stand-up comedian, and Lucy Arnaz, Lucy and Desi's daughter. Pardon me. I'm afraid to fly, and I don't know why. I'm jealous of the people who are not afraid to die. It's just that I recall back when I was small, someone promised that they'd catch me, then they let me fall, and now I'm falling that's why I turn and walk away. That's what I should do. My head says go and find the door. My heart says I found you, and now I'm falling fast again. Why do I always take a fall when I fall in love? It always turns out the same. Loving someone, losing myself, only got me to blame. Help me, I'm falling. Catch me if you can. Maybe this time I'll have it all. Maybe I'll make it after all. Maybe this time I won't fall when I fall in love. Just a nice little chestnut of a tune. Back to doing a couple Sondheim. They were written from the same period, that early 70s period, which you could argue was his prime. He wrote back to back Company, Follies, and A Little Night Music. And I'm going to be doing two from the first two of those. The first one is from Follies, which every now and then that becomes my favorite Sondheim score, because he took the classic songs of the era between the wars and basically came up with his own versions of those composers, and inserted them into the score in an organic way, sometimes within the context of the older performers doing the songs they did back in the day, and sometimes in the context of, well, this is just the quote-unquote language, musical, harmonic, and lyrical that these characters use. So hope you like this. The first one is from Follies, the second one is from Company. Oh wait, need a drink. It's the only way to keep those allergens down for a time. The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. The morning ends, I think about you. I talk to friends, I think about you. And do they know it's like I'm losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? You're always sorry, you're always grateful. grateful. You're always wondering what might have been. Then she walks in, and still you're sorry, and still you're grateful, and still you wonder, and still you doubt. Then she goes out. Everything's different, nothing's changed, only maybe slightly rearranged. You're sorry, grateful, regretful, happy. Why look for answers when none occur? You always are what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her. Good things get better, bad gets worse. Wait, I think I meant that in reverse. You're sorry, grateful, regretful, happy. Why look for answers when none occur? You'll always be what you always were, which has nothing to do with, all to do with her. All to do with her. Great song. So this next song is from a musical called On a Clear Day, You Can See Forever, and great score, interesting show. They did a revival several years back where they did some gender bending in it, which I don't know whether it made it better, but it made it more contemporaneous with different things that we're going through societally now, and that's always a good thing. This is one of the songs from it. I will swing this a little bit because if I play it with that double time feeling, I'm going to tend to really pound loudly. I'm a bastard pianist. Some people would just call me a bastard, but c'est la vie. So, hope you like it. Wait. Drinking time. Mind you, I'll be back teaching students in what looks like about 8 minutes, so I gotta finish this up. Hear my voice where you are. Take a train, steal a car, hop a freight, rob a star, come back to me. Catch a plane, catch a breeze, on your hands, on your knees, swim or fly, only please come back to me. On a mule, in a jet, with your hair in a net, in a towel wringing wet, I don't care, this is where you should be. From the hills, from the shore, ride the wind to my door, turn the highway to dust, break the law if you must, move the world, only just come back to me. Come back to me, come back to me. Blast your heart, hear me call. Must I fight City Hall? Here and now, damn it all, come back to me. What on earth must I do? Scream and yell till I'm blue. curse your soul. When will you come back to me? Have you gone to the moon, or the corner saloon, and to rack and a room? Mademoiselle, where in hell can you be? In a crate, in a trunk, on a horse, on a trunk, in a rose or something, wrapped in mink or saran. Any way that you can, come back to me. 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 Hope you like that. And I'm going to close with a song with words by Leslie Bricusse. It's from a show called Pickwick Papers. Cyril Ornadell, and if I'm mispronouncing that word, I apologize to Cyril. It became a hit in this country for Tony Bennett, but the show was not a hit. If I rule the world, every day would be the first day of spring. Every heart would have a newer song to sing, and we'd sing of the joy every morning would bring. If I rule the world, every man would be as free as a bird. Every voice would be a voice to be heard. Take my word, we would treasure each day that occurred. My world would be a beautiful place where we could weave such wonderful dreams. My world would wear a smile on his face, like the man in the moon has when the moon beams. If I rule the world, every man would say the world was his friend. There'd be happiness that no man could end. No, my friend, not if I ruled the world. Every head would be held up high. There'd be sunshine in everyone's sky. If the day ever dawned when I ruled the world. Thank you so much. If you like it, be sure to share and dig it. And virtual tip jar is always there 24/7. Take care. Stay safe and healthy.